Which brings us to the grandfather paradox.
The what?
Paradox, Mr. Protagonist, also known as an antinomy. A paradox is a logically self-contradictory statement or a statement that runs contrary to one's expectation. Did you get it? Okay, before we jump onto the grandfather paradox, let's understand paradoxes first. Hi, I am Artem and today I will be decoding a paradox named the Einstein Paradox and will discuss about time travel paradoxes you must have seen in movies such as Tenet, Terminator and Interstellar. First things first, let's start with the Einstein Paradox in a fun storytelling way. There was once a small school in a remote area and only rich kids went to that school. Each of these stones represent one kid. These kids were so mean that they did not welcome new kids in their class. This is the class where these mean kids sat arranged in 2 columns and 2 rows with 8 kids in each row and column. Once, the kind-hearted principal thought to admit some poor students in the school at his own cost. Now, when the first poor kid arrived at the school, the mean kids protested that there is only so much space to accommodate 8 students in each row and column. So, a teacher said, "Let me take care of that." The smart teacher asked the new child to stand in the middle of the class, then sit next to a child here, and then she shuffled a few mean children from here to here, and then asked the kids to count if the total has changed. 8, 8, 8 and 8. Wow, that was something. But the problem has just begun. Next day, 3 more poor kids arrived at the school. But just as the previous day, the smart teacher did some shuffling and accommodated all the 3 kids in the class and asked the kids to count again. 8 in each row and column, as it was magic. The same day, while all the kids were playing in the ground, the principal introduced 4 more poor kids to class. Exasperated, the mean kid said, "There is space for 32 kids in the class, and you have introduced 8 new kids, making the total of 40. How on earth are we going to study properly?" The clever teacher said, "Who said you are 40? You are actually 30 and we still have space for 2 poor kids to join us." Kids hurriedly counted and this is what they found. 30 kids!
The what?
Generally, adding kids to a class should increase the class's strength. But as in this example I showed you, the addition led to decrease in total sum of students. Paradox or not? It's a falsidical paradox, which means not only the argument feels like it's not true, if we closely examine, we will know that it is indeed not true. Let's go back to the start to understand what happened here.
I saw my future and I saw what I needed to change it.
At the beginning, I showed you the class arrangement which was like this. But in fact, there were 22 in numbers, not 32. The mean kids were counting the kids sitting in the corner twice. So, the total increased by 10 kids, making it seem there were 32 kids in their class. The clever teacher adjusted the new kid in the middle of this row, which made its total increase to 9. Then, she shuffled a student from this corner to the middle of the corresponding row, making the count back to 8. And she repeated this for each new kid. So, even after adding 4 new kids, the total kids in the class were 26, not 36. And where 4 more kids arrived at the school, the total became 30, not 40. Though the example was a falsidical paradox, we fairly understand now what a paradox is. There are hundreds of paradoxes including
the grandfather paradox.
The what?
Say what again?
Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
Imagine a killer travels to the past and kills his grandfather while his grandfather is still a child. Will that killer be wiped out in the future? Yes? No? None of them? Both? Actually, a paradox. Movies as Back to the Future, Deadpool 2 and Avengers Endgame depict tinkering the past to achieve a desired future but avoid answering the grandfather paradox. There is another time travel paradox known as the predestination. That is, what if we travel back into time to alter the future, but instead trigger a set of events that eventually build the future we wanted to avoid? 1984's Terminator and Interstellar can be categorized under this paradox.
It will have only one purpose: to return to the present and prevent the future. This weapon will be called the Terminator.
Talking about time travel, I wonder, what if I'm a time-traveling astronaut in future and my future self is motivating me to know more so that I can become my future self? And what if my future self triggers a new set of events in the present which can deviate the course of future? But if we cannot undo what is done in the future, will the interference create a parallel reality? Whose reality will it be anyways? Only mine? Or will I be accompanied by the entire world in that reality? How many parallel realities you think Avengers created in the Endgame? As per Murphy's Law, which is by the way an adage, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. What if, while things go wrong in our reality, they go right in another reality where we all are rock stars? Wait a minute, doesn't that mean that no one is a rock star? Thank you for watching this video. Today, we busted the so-called Einstein Paradoxes and learned about time travel paradoxes only to uncover more questions than answers. But questions are a good first step, right? If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to the channel. For those who find paradoxes interesting, I am putting links to some websites and YouTube videos in the description. I am also giving my Amazon affiliate link for some good time travel books of all times. It will not cost you anything extra, but will allow me small rewards which I will utilize to read more and share more. Don't forget to share your experiences with everyone on social media. I'll be back soon. Till then, take care and be awesome. Bye.
I'll be back.